What is up, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Dudes Who Bet Sports.
So you want to bet sports, but you need some advice on how to cash in big at a heck of a price. Well, if you want enough money to line your shorts, then you're in the right place. This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dudes Who Bet Sports Show. And as promised, we're covering the NFL draft for you today. Man, it snuck up on us. Magic, I told him about it. He's like, oh my gosh, that's today? Holy cow. So, yeah, it has snuck up on us. Everybody here at Racing Dudes working on the Kentucky Derby. We got a lot going on in sports as well. Boy, we've had back-to-back nights of really good basketball games. I guess we can kind of start. What are your just overall thoughts? The first round usually in the NBA is kind of boring. This has not been boring at all.
No, it hasn't at all. And if you want to start there, let me get my cheat sheet out here. I'm telling you, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Usually we have a lot of series that are settled by now, but we only have two.
Yep.
That are settled. Now we could have five after tonight. So. But we have three games tonight that are game sixes. And usually these first round playoffs don't go that long. So it has been some tremendous games. The Memphis-Minnesota series has been outstanding. If you really like close games, crazy games, man, there have been some nutty stuff going on in that one. I gave up on Memphis pretty much the other night. I was so mad at them, and I've been mad at them the whole series because I really liked them going into the playoffs. They really haven't played that well. Maybe Minnesota's that good. I don't know. But what a comeback the other night against the Timberwolves. And don't you know the Timberwolves are kicking themselves? They have had huge leads in two of those games and lost them. They got to be kicking themselves. And then tonight, wow. It's going to be something. As Russ says, the Memphis-Minnesota series has been something else. It really has.
It's been awesome. That game last night, or not last night, that was 2 nights ago now,
yeah.
I guess. Good Lord. What a game.
It was.
And by Morant, holy cow, that guy was unbelievable. Really, after the dunk and on, he was incredible in that game. After, like you had said, he's been playing so bad.
Well,
wow, did he play good.
Yeah, we were having a debate on Twitter a couple nights ago that he wasn't playing very good, and there were a couple of people that haven't really watched the NBA much, and they admitted it, and they were watching Memphis just to see him because he has been a lot about him in the news and stuff. He's out of control. I think we can all say that he's kind of out of control a little bit, but the explosion that he has when he goes to the basket, and that dunk was, it's got to be top 5 ever, doesn't it?
It was unreal.
He's not that big, and to go in there like that, but the winning shot, was what kind of athleticism was that? Oh, but I tell you, he's something else. But he's one of those guys that's a little bit out of control, and you just don't know what he's going to do. But when he's got it going, Memphis is pretty good. And as Ravaged Grapefruit says, we got magic carrots sometimes, and now we got the Ravaged Grapefruit. I've been very impressed with Dallas also. We'll get into them here in just a minute. But, yeah, that was quite a show the other night.
Well, let's quickly pick the Thursday night game and the Friday night games here before we get to the NFL draft. And let's just go through them here real quickly. The 76ers and the Raptors, this has been the hardest series for me to predict without a doubt. Mm-hmm. I thought the Sixers had it. Now they're kind of doing 76er type things, trying to let the Raptors hang in there. Do we see a game 7? Do the Raptors force game 7 tonight?
I think tonight these 3 games are about as tough as there are. The only thing about these games are the point spreads are nothing.
Yeah.
So in a way, they're easier because you just pick a team.
You just have to pick a winner.
Yeah. So they are. Like last night was very difficult because you had 12-point spread with Milwaukee, and you had a 9-point spread with Golden State, and I hit one and missed the other one. And so I felt good that I got one of them right, because those are iffy. Those spreads are. But on my parlay, I went ahead, like I picked Golden State to win by 9, and they didn't. But in the parlay, I picked Denver, and I hit the parlay, and it was like a $65 payout. So got lucky in that one. Anyway, I think this one's the hardest for me tonight, because I've watched Philadelphia, and you have too, all year long. They look so bad sometimes, or you think they're going to lose, and they come out and play great. But their backs are, even this is dumb to say, they're up 3-2. The game 7, if there is one, is in their building. But everybody kind of feels like they're backed up against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get that feeling too? Do you think this is kind of a must game for them tonight, when really it's probably not? But they're kind of trying to make a big, and this is the media again, trying to make a big deal about Doc Rivers can't win a big game. And I don't buy into that. I don't think Doc's playing these days. So he's going to have to get some help out of his players. I think the injury to Embiid is worse than what they're letting on. He has not played well since he hurt that thumb, and it just stands to reason. If you've got a ligament tear in your thumb and you're a basketball player, I would think that would be a problem. I think you have to catch the ball, and that's probably an issue. So that's hurting him. So he's got to get some support from Harden, who's been awful. Big surprise. And Maxey, who played very, very well in the first 3 games. I'm picking Toronto tonight. They've got injury problems too, but that hasn't seemed to bother them. And I took the Raptors. How did you go?
Yep, I went the Raptors as well. I don't have confidence the 76ers are going to go on the road and win tonight. I just don't. They still may win game 7, but I think Toronto is going to prove tough to eliminate. I think they push it to a game 7. They look pretty darn good in game 5. And the 76ers, you're right. They're such an up and down team. So, yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to go with the Raptors as well. All right, Suns, Pelicans. Can the Pelicans, who were the darlings after winning game 4, can they force a game 7 against Phoenix tonight?
Well, this was my best bet, because we saw the Phoenix team we were hoping to see.
Yeah.
Or if you're a Phoenix fan. And we finally saw them play like they were capable. And they came out in game 5 and took care of the Pelicans and took the ball inside to them. And there is a chance that Devin Booker is going to play tonight. That's questionable. He's listed as out, but he's practicing. And I did read about an hour ago that there's a good chance he's going to play tonight. And that would give them the boost I think they need. I kind of think the Pelicans their bubble has kind of burst. I kind of think. And I think the Suns are going to take care of business tonight in this one. So this was my best bet of the day. I feel more confident about Phoenix covering the 2 points than I do, the other games, just even. But I feel pretty confident about this one tonight.
I think the Suns are going to win. I really don't think this is going to be much of a game. I think the Suns kind of woke up. That game 4 was about as bad as you could get, and I think they kind of woke up. And so I think the Suns take care of business. I don't think this one – well, I don't know. It might be close for a while. I think at the end of the day, the Suns are just a better team.
And that's the way I think it is too, and I think they're better, and usually the better team in a 7-game series ends up winning. Unless you have a bunch of injuries, which they have had, the Booker injury, which hurt them. What do you think? You think they hold him out in case there would be a game 7 for fear that he may strain that hamstring in the game 6?
It's possible. That's possible. If you could think we can sneak by, we can get through the series, and then we've got some real time for him. The other flip side of that, you don't want to get into a game 7 and it's his first game off the injury.
That's right.
I think he'll play if he's capable.
I think he will too. Yeah. I don't think you hold back in the playoffs. I just don't think you do.
No.
And you don't want to take a chance with a game 7 anyway. There's
No,
too many crazy things that can happen.
well, I agree. All right, final game tonight. It's the Jazz and the Mavericks. Vegas doesn't know what to do. It's an even point spread. You don't see that very often.
No.
Who you got, Jazz or Mavericks tonight?
Well, I really like Dallas, and I don't like Utah very well. And Utah's best player may not play, and if he does, he is hurt. And that's Donovan Mitchell. And I'm kind of surprised that I just don't think Dallas is getting enough respect. I really don't. I'm surprised they're not favored. This morning, when I was writing articles and making the picks, some places had the Jazz as a 1-point favorite, and some had Dallas, and now it's even on this one that you're using here. So it is a pick 'em game. I think Dallas is going to win. I just think they're better than Utah, and I think I would pick them even if Donovan Mitchell was healthy for Utah tonight. I just think Dallas is better, and I think they're very underrated.
Well, I picked the Jazz, so we did go different on that
there
one.
we go.
I just feel like this is a series. It just seems like we're going to go 7 with this one. It really does. And the Jazz were pretty lucky to win Game 4. I didn't think they played great in Game 5. I think they rebound and they play good enough to force a Game 7. I think overall the Mavericks will win the series. I think the Jazz win tonight. So I took Utah. I expect them to play. They really haven't played all that well in this series, and so
they have not. You're right.
I expect them to play a little bit better.
And let's say it ends up Phoenix, Memphis, Golden State, and Dallas. Man, who you picking to come out of that? Those are 4 teams that are really solid.
Yeah, the winner there will be the fans because those will be great games if you like basketball.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the Friday game, the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. We bragged about how good this game was, Game 5. The Grizzlies get it done. Now they go back to Minnesota. They've got Memphis as a 1-point favorite right now as we sit here on Thursday afternoon. I think I'm going to take the Grizzlies to get it done and finish out the series. What about you?
Well, I agree with you. Logic, again, says how in the world can Minnesota come back from 2 devastating losses like they have? But we thought the same thing after Game 3 when it was even worse, the game they blew, Game 3. I mean, they had Memphis completely blown out of that game, not once, but twice, and lost it at home and came back in Game 4 and won. So they're very resilient, and you can't really think that they're not going to play well. They shoot the ball. Their offensively, they're a problem. So they've got a shot. I tend to agree with you, though. I think Memphis won the series. Whatever night that was, Tuesday night. I think they won the series. I do. I think they're going to win. But man, I wouldn't bet a bunch of money on it. That's for sure.
No, it's been tight. It's been a really tight series, and they've been some really, really good games. And you're right, yep. Minnesota, it kind of feels like, man, we should have won this series already.
Oh, yeah.
They've had them, and boy, they really had them in Game 5. I just can't see them keeping blowing it.
I can't either. You would think, psychologically, they've got to be down a little bit. You would think.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, then we've got 3 teams that know they're playing in the next, 4 that know they're playing in the next round. And we have one series that we got Boston and Brooklyn, not Boston and Brooklyn, Boston and Milwaukee. Man, that's going to be a series too, if that happens. And then let's talk about Miami just a little bit. Boy, they've been pretty impressive.
Yep.
They're one of those sleeper teams that nobody thinks about because they're not very flashy. They're hard to beat. And we got to talk about Isaac's team, the Warriors, which eliminated who'd they beat last night? Can't have so many daggum teams, and I've done so much research I can't even think. Who was it?
The Warriors last night defeated the Nuggets.
The Nuggets, yeah. And it was close. The Nuggets, I thought, really put on a good show last night and hung in there with them. And so you got Golden State waiting for all of this to finish up, and they're going to get a little bit of extra rest, and Steph will get a little more healthier. they're going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, I think the Warriors, they look like the best team right now, Isaac. So I think the Warriors are going to be awfully tough. Like Papa Dude just said, seem like they're getting healthy at the right time. Now they've got some more rest here. If anybody was kind of ailing, they can kind of, they got a week probably to heal up. So they'll sit back and just wait for their opponent. And,
That's right.
I don't see them getting beat in the second round.
No.
I really don't. I think they're going to be pretty tough. But yeah, listen, this first round has been great.
It has.
And I think the second round will be even better. It stands to reason than it will be.
It will. And I tell you, tonight, these 3 games, I don't know how you can ask for any better than what they're going to be tonight. They should be really good tonight.
I don't remember, especially again, we'll say it in the first round. I don't remember 3 games where the point spread's no more than 2.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Well, and then you got one tomorrow night that's only 1.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, the one we talked. So we talked about 4 games, and they're all 2 points or less. Yeah.
Yes, I no. And in the regular season, having done all these night after night after night, that never happens. It just isn't. So, yeah, they've been something.
All right, let's move on. We'll go to the NFL draft now. And this is tonight is the first round, obviously, on ESPN, and it's going to be interesting. I've done a little bit of research on this draft. I know you've done a lot.
Well, I wouldn't say a lot.
Well, my first takeaway from it is this is a boring draft. It really doesn't have a lot of flash, does it?
It does not. And it's because there are no quarterbacks and there are no running backs that are that highly thought of.
Mm-hmm.
So you're absolutely right. And I think another thing is our favorite team doesn't have anybody that's going to go in the first round.
Right.
I think that's part of it too. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what the appeal of this is. I mean, I would like for somebody to tell me. I don't understand. I don't get into this much.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason I don't get into it much is it's too freaking long between draft picks.
Yeah.
And I get so tired of those guys analyzing all these people. And they go over the same guy, seems like 100 times. And I don't have ADHD, I don't think, but I get a little bored. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I get a little bit bored. I mean, I understand why there's so much time between the picks because these teams are trying to decide what to do. But it gets a little boring to me. I guess I'm just not a draft night freak or something. I don't know. Some of these guys, and I know we got some, that are usually on chat that they get after this. They really get into it. I know on Twitter it's pretty hot too. So
yeah, and Curtis chimes in and he says Thibodeau will go number 2. Book it.
Okay, Chris.
I've got Chris Collinsworth's mock draft up. It's just kind of a guide for us here to have up on the screen. He's got Thibodeau at 4 to the New York Jets, but Curtis says the Detroit Lions are going to take him at number 2.
Yeah, well, I got him at 4.
You've got him 4. Who do you have going number 1?
Well, I've got Jacksonville's got 2 choices, in my opinion. Now, first of all, Jacksonville, they're not going to make a bad pick unless they just miss on the player because they need everything except a quarterback.
Correct.
Yeah, so they need everything. So whatever they take is going to be an improvement probably on what they've got. And it looks like they're either going to go for an offensive lineman, which is the boring pick.
Mm-hmm.
But offensive linemen are so valuable when you have a young quarterback that you've got to protect. Or they're going to go defense and they are going to go with an edge rusher. So Collinsworth's got Trayvon Walker as who they're going to pick. And I'm going to think it's either him or Akeem Ekwonu, I think is how you pronounce that, which I never heard of until I started researching this. He's an offensive tackle, I believe, from North Carolina State. So I think they'll go with one or the other. I don't think you can go wrong with Walker. That's for sure. And, it's becoming so important in the NFL in the last few years to have an edge rusher that can get to the quarterback. That makes such a difference. So either way, I think they win in this one.
A lot of good teams, their defense starts with the edge rusher. That's exactly right.
Yep.
It looks like Collinsworth, he's thinking it's going to be one of these top two, Hutchinson or Walker going. He says in the article here, he believes one of those top two will be the first pick. We've watched Trayvon Walker a ton, obviously. Well, we watch Hutchinson too from Michigan, two big players from big schools.
Yeah.
It does kind of feel like whichever one you take, they're going to at least be productive. I don't see a swing and a miss from either one of these guys.
No. I think Hutchinson, he was impressive. There's no question. Walker was on a team with a whole bunch of great players, as we're going to see as we go through this draft.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're on a team with a whole bunch of great players, you play pretty darn good too. Hutchinson was more kind of on his own. In other words, what I'm trying to say is you could double and team Hutchinson a lot easier than you could double and team Trayvon Walker.
Yeah.
So I love Hutchinson. I like his motor a lot. I thought he was really good. And the Lions are they've got him there at second, and that's where I have him too, player. So I think that's probably the way they go also.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think that does make a ton of sense for Hutchinson to go there. I think if he's available, that's who they're going to take.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about Georgia. You said before we got on air, no wonder they won the national championship.
Yeah.
How many players from Georgia are going to go in the first round tonight?
I think 3 or 4, maybe even 5.
Wow.
I mean, their defense, I think as I went through this, about 4 defensive players, and then they got a wide receiver that's pretty highly thought of too. So we get through this, there's a bunch.
Yeah, I'm looking at Collinsworth here. He's got 3, it looks like. I didn't count these off beforehand. Yeah, it looks like he's projecting 3 of them to go in the first round tonight as well. So it's draft night. You really understand. Oh, okay. Georgia won it. Yeah, they've got a lot of players. I see a lot of Alabama on the list as well.
Yeah, just looking at his as you went down through that, his is different than most of the guys that do this for a living. He doesn't really pick a draft. He's more of an announcer than anything else. So his looks a little different than some of the guys I looked at, which is fine. That's what makes this fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yep.
Russ says Texans better not go Stingley.
For the third round, the 3 pick here?
Yes. Yeah. He's got Evan Neal going to the Texans.
Okay.
What do you got?
He's very high. I took, I'm thinking Jacksonville's going to go Walker.
Okay.
So I went the other guy, Kwandu or whatever, as the 3 pick.
Okay. So you've got, and let's see, gosh, he's got him all the way down at 9th to Seattle. So you've got him 3rd. I don't think this projection's that great because I've seen him a lot higher than 9th everywhere else.
Well, that's okay. I mean, 9's nothing to sneeze at, but I think whoever Jacksonville picks, Houston will take the other one. Okay, between those two, between Walker and Kwandu. Yeah,
it makes sense.
We'll just see.
Yeah. It definitely makes sense.
All right, they may go with Hutchinson. They may decide they like him better. But
I just can't ever remember a draft where it seems like we know who the top 3 or 4 picks are every year. This year it's weird.
Well, that's because it's not a quarterback or a running back.
Yeah,
I think, or a big time wide receiver.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. The flash isn't there, but a lot of times these are the guys that win the championship.
Well, it's just like if you're Jacksonville and you get this first pick and you go with Akeem Kwandu, that's not going to excite anybody.
No,
it's not. They're thinking, God, we finally get a number 1 pick, and what do we do? Of course, they got the quarterback last year, so maybe. I don't know.
Well, and I think Russ said it on a show last time we did it Monday that, hey, listen, you got a franchise quarterback. You better protect him.
You better.
So it's there. But like I said, we'll see. Speaking of quarterbacks, I pulled these quarterbacks up because it is weird. It's so weird this year to not have one. Malik Willis from Liberty, Kenny Pickett from Pittsburgh, Matt Corral from Ole Miss, and Sam Howell from North Carolina. Those are the 4 you hear the most of.
Mm-hmm.
How many quarterbacks do you have going tonight in the first round?
First round, 2, and one of them's a stretch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to do the quarterbacks?
Well, yeah. Who do
Okay.
you have?
Well,
Yeah.
all the way down to number 20 before I think maybe there's one taken. I think Pittsburgh's got to take a quarterback.
Okay.
I think they do. Now, the experts, most of the experts are thinking they're going to take Willis over Pickett.
Yeah.
But there's a couple I read that think they'll go with Pickett because of his size. Now, he's just a couple inches taller than Willis, but they figured maybe he could put on weight. And I think they're going with that because they've had Roethlisberger for so long. It would be the natural inclination to take Pickett, wouldn't you think, if you were the Steelers?
Yeah.
So if they go with Willis, they must really like him better. Because, or maybe they think too much pressure on Kenny Pickett. I don't know. So I think they take Pickett. I really do. I think they will. And it'll be interesting if they take the other guy. And then as I went through all of this, I mean, there are teams that need quarterbacks, but these guys are just not worth a number 1 pick, evidently.
No.
And I went all the way down to Detroit for the last pick in the first round. They get 2 picks in the first round, number 32. And I went with Willis for them. They may pass on that, though, and try to get some help at other places. I'm not sure they go with quarterback, but a lot of people think they are going to either take him or Pickett, whichever one's available. But that's it, just 2 in the first round and 0 running backs.
And it is crazy. The running back thing, there's just none there either as well.
No.
Let's talk about these quarterbacks a little bit more here.
Okay.
Let's forget about first round, but you
Okay.
and I watch about, I mean, every college football team we've seen play, at one time or another, sometimes multiple times. Malik Willis, I've watched him at Liberty. I don't know.
No,
I don't think I'd take him.
Wouldn't either.
Kenny Pickett, I've liked, but is he just a college type guy? He kind of has that feel a little bit to me. I did like him. Matt Corral seems much like a system college quarterback to me. I didn't love him.
Yeah. He's a runner. He runs the ball a lot.
Sam Howell. I don't love him for the NFL.
A little bit short.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Baker Mayfield type. I mean, it's like, I don't know. Desmond Ridder, I wasn't impressed.
No, I do like his size. I thought he may be a type of guy that'd be a good pro. I don't know. He's not flashy, he just gets the job done.
Curtis Manilow agrees. He says if Malik Willis is starting, this is funny, Malik Willis is starting an NFL game next year, I'm betting the 401k on the other team.
Well, the thing with him that was concerned me, who does Liberty play? They had a decent schedule.
Who do they play? And what did he really do?
I know they weren't very good.
No, and he wasn't bad. I'm not saying he was a bad college player because he certainly wasn't, but he didn't stand out like some of the quarterbacks from the smaller schools have in the past.
No, that's right.
He just didn't.
But I think the NFL gets so bogged down with this combine baloney and size and arm strength, and a lot of times they don't look at results.
Yeah.
What these guys produced. And the best producer of that bunch right there is Kenny Pickett. There's nobody even close to the yardage he threw for.
Yeah. Absolutely. Curtis said Willis threw 3 picks against Ole Miss and the elite defense of Middle Tennessee State.
You're absolutely right, Curtis. I just would not. I guarantee you I wouldn't pick him first in the first round.
No. He's
a third rounder, I think, at least.
If I had a late round pick and needed a quarterback, I would take Kenny Pickett. And then
I would too.
I would probably wait till like the 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah.
Try to go somewhere else. Something like a Carson Strong in Nevada. I'm not saying he was great, but it's like, we could take a flyer on him,
Well,
Skylar Thompson at Kansas State. I mean, my God, he's.
oh, I'm telling you, when I saw that name on there, I'm thinking, my God, it's really a bad draft if
It's
he's even
bad.
considered. And then you go down through the list, and you got Brock Purdy at 301.
Oh, he's awful.
Yeah, and there's that kid from Miami, uh,
Yeah.
Derek King, who's been hurt. And the fact he's even on the list is kind of nuts.
Yeah.
So I was one of the few that kind of liked the guy at Notre Dame.
Jack Cohn.
I'd pick him over a lot of these guys that are ahead of him, I think. But anyway,
Cole Kelly. Why do I know that name?
I don't know because I don't.
Cole Kelly, was that the guy? Am I out of my mind here? I'm trying to. It's like I don't even know. I don't even know who that guy is.
Who did he play for?
He played for the Southeastern Louisiana Lions.
Oh, I don't know where you know him.
It seems like maybe he was at a bigger school.
Oh, maybe he transferred. That's a possibility.
And I could be wrong about that. Oh, gosh.
I agree with Curtis on Matt Corral.
Yeah, I know you like him. Talk about him while I find out who this guy is.
Oh, I just like his game. I mean, he's a gamer.
Yeah.
He played hurt all year, carried that team. I'd take him over Malik Willis any day. And and as Kiffin also said, he's the most talented quarterback he's ever coached. And he was at Alabama a couple of years. So he's seen some quarterbacks. I think he is worth a pick. Now, they may be a little worried about his injury that he suffered in the bowl game. He may not be recovered from that. We don't know that.
Yeah.
That could be lowering his status a little bit.
Listen, he was a very good college quarterback.
He was.
I don't know. He's not that big of a guy.
No.
I don't know. I'm a little worried about him.
I think part of the problem is with this class, there's not very many really NFL size type quarterbacks,
right?
That they like right now.
Okay, so Cole Kelly,
okay.
I knew that's who this was.
Okay,
this guy, he originally went to Arkansas.
Okay.
And
really?
Yes. Do you remember this kid? He was number 15.
I remember this. Now that I see the size, I remember a big old quarterback they had.
They thought he was the next Ryan Mallett. That's who they were talking about. Oh gosh,
Okay.
This guy's Ryan Mallett. He's great. This guy at Arkansas was one of the worst quarterbacks. I've never seen anybody as bad as this guy. He was so bad. Now he obviously has played so much better once he got away from there, and he was under a terrible coaching staff.
Yeah.
So I'm not blaming the kid completely. He was awful at Arkansas. I can't believe he's on this list. I didn't even know he was still playing somewhere.
He must have had some decent numbers. Of course, Southeast Louisiana doesn't play any. They're not even in the big time. But still, he's on there. Probably look at that size. That's part of it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, man, I can't believe that's him. I can't believe that's him.
No, you knew the name. You knew the name.
Oh, I saw it. I was like, well, and I said to myself, I think that's the kid from Arkansas, but I thought, no way.
Yeah. You
talk about, hey, he must have had some stats.
Oh yeah, he must have.
In 2021. Now again, this is one FCS.
FCS, yeah.
In 2021, he threw for 5,000 yards.
Oh my!
44 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
Well, somebody will draft him.
Yeah, absolutely. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, that is.
Pull
up the running backs. Can you get those?
Yep. I'll pull up the running backs now for us all. There we go.
Oh, here we go.
And kind of the star, I'd say 3 stars of college last year. Kenneth Walker, Breece Hall, and Isaiah Spiller. These were 3 guys talked about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of this running back class? I mean, those 3 guys are obviously pretty darn good.
They are, and I'm a little surprised. I guess when you start looking at them, size, kind of sticks out. Kenneth Walker's only 5'9", Breece Hall 5'11", and again, that's a little sketchy. for the NFL, but these guys are productive. They're productive. And I scroll on down there. Where is Kennedy Brooks? There he is. He's 174.
Yeah.
That's a guy I would take a chance on, I'll guarantee you, because he's productive.
Yeah.
And he would be worth a fifth round pick, which is probably where he's going to end up, fourth or fifth. I think he can play in the pros somewhere. I don't know whether he can be a feature back, but I could see him throwing to him out of the backfield. He can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think he's a sleeper. But there aren't very many names, as you see, on that list.
I would definitely, if I needed a back in the second round, Brees Hall would be one I would look at.
Yes,
Talk about production.
He
That
is.
guy, I'm telling you, he is. He has been productive year after year after year. I really like him. I like the Zamir White from Georgia.
Yes.
I've liked him for a while. I think he kind of is what the NFL has at running back these days. I like him a little bit as well.
Again, some of these guys may be a step slow for the NFL, and that lowers their value.
Honestly, I think that's Kennedy Brooks' problem.
I think so. He's not lightning quick.
Mm-mm.
He just gets the job done. And I think somebody will take a shot at him.
I remember when they recruited Kennedy, they said, look, we don't like him that well. We don't think he's that good. And then he was productive. We'll offer him a scholarship.
Yeah.
And then boom, he
ended up being what, top 5 rusher of all time at OU, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. He was very good. So yeah, keep an eye on him. I think he will get drafted, like I said, 4th, 5th, 6th round. And a lot of times when you get down there, if you can slip, and if you fall into the right situation, all of a sudden you're in better shape than if you were drafted by somebody not quite as good early in the draft. So,
Curtis, I don't know who Pierre Strong is.
Pierre Strong.
Tell us who he played for.
Yeah, that's not on a list here. Okay.
Curtis is a Kayvon Thibodeau guy, and I've got him going in number 4 tonight, Curtis. I've got him going to the Jets.
Pierre Strong, I Googled him here. He played for South Dakota State.
Okay.
Which is why we haven't heard of him, because we have not watched South Dakota
Rabbits,
State.
They're in the Missouri Valley, and they're pretty darn good. So
yes.
He's a sleeper. But I've got Kayvon Thibodeau going in the 4th round. I read some stuff on him, Curtis. A lot of people think he could be an attitude problem of some kind. I think he's a little bit full of himself, but most edge rushers are, especially edge rushers in the NFL. So I've got him at 4 for the Jets, as does Chris Collinsworth too. He could go. Detroit could take him. I'm just thinking Detroit's going to take Hutchinson because he played at Michigan.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think. I hope he goes number 2 for you there, Curtis, because I I don't want you to have to get a sponsorship for the for the Derby coming up.
Oh, that's funny.
Contact us. We'll be there for you.
Let's look at a couple of, like Kansas City.
Okay.
They're at 29 and 30. They have back-to-back picks. Before we look at them, who do you think, or what do you think their needs are?
Well, I think they need a receiver.
I do too.
And they probably, I don't know what the status is with the Honey Badger, but I would think a receiver and a defensive back is what they would need.
I would say defense, period.
Yeah.
But I would think the same thing. They got to get a receiver.
Yeah.
Now, where they are picking, the better receivers are probably going to be gone. Now, the receiving class is pretty strong. Running through some of these, Garrett Wilson from Ohio State is projected to go pretty high. I've got him 10th for the Jets. The kid from Alabama, Jameson Williams, who probably would be top 5, top 10 if he hadn't have blown his knee out.
Yeah.
That's lowered him a little bit. But you know what? You come back from knee injuries, he'll be around. But I've got him going to the Eagles, number 15. There's a couple of other guys from Ohio State. Chris Olave, I think is how they pronounce that.
Mhm.
He was a stud. And those guys are projected to be gone by the time the Chiefs draft. But there's two guys I think they should look at. And I think they probably Treylon Burks is the other one.
Yeah.
Green Bay is projected to get him. They draft 22nd, I think it is, and almost everybody has him going there. George Pickens from Georgia is a guy that I think the Chiefs might get. He's 6'3", 195, big type receiver. They need somebody. I'm telling you right now, they're not going to find Tyreek Hill in this draft. They're just not. And that's a problem. The other guy that's very highly rated is Drake London at USC, 6'4", 219. I think the Chiefs take one of those guys with one of those picks. I'm with you. They don't have any wide receivers with Hill gone. And they may take a couple in this draft.
Yeah, I could see it. I've seen a few thinking Treylon Burks could fall to them all the way.
I could be too.
Towards the end. I don't know about that.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
He's pretty good.
I think this Christian Watson, I've seen him a second round projection for the Chiefs, perhaps. So went to North Dakota State. They have to take one somewhere. I just now that does lead me to my next question, because I think there's two things looming in this draft that don't have anything to do with picks. Well, with players coming into the league, I should say, maybe something to do with picks. Deebo Samuel wants out of San Francisco. He's probably the number one wide receiver available tonight.
No doubt.
Are the Chiefs going to be involved in that? Will he get moved tonight? That's a big question.
One thing, with all this draft projections, we're not taking into consideration. Trades. Yeah. And there will be some. So you're thinking the Chiefs give up maybe their 2 picks?
I'm thinking maybe not the Chiefs specifically, but will somebody tonight take the plunge on Deebo Samuel?
San Francisco does not have a pick in the first round.
Yep.
They could package something. A lot of them think Garoppolo's going too.
Yep.
Maybe in a trade. Now, I read the latest on Baker Mayfield this morning. They think that he has dropped so far that tonight, after this is all done and everything's settled, that's when the trade for him will be for some 3rd and 4th round picks tomorrow, and maybe a number 1 on next year. That's kind of what I read today on him.
So that was the other one. Mayfield to a much lesser degree now, for sure. That domino has to fall, you would think, this weekend. So him and Deebo Samuel, to me, are the two. Yeah. They're just as interesting as who gets drafted number 1 tonight.
And then the other thing is, am I missing something with the 49ers? Do they have a quarterback that's ready to go if they lose Garoppolo?
Well, they drafted Trey Lance, and maybe that's just where they're going. They drafted him last year. I think you got to give him a shot. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, is it a money issue with Garoppolo?
It's a money issue with Deebo for sure, I think.
Yeah.
Garoppolo, I just think should we start the Trey Lance era, so to speak, or not?
And we've got, the Panthers are looking. Seattle needs a quarterback. To me, if I was, and I am, a huge Baker Mayfield fan, that's where I want him to go, is there. I think that's an organization that at least knows what they're doing. And the other ones that are mentioned are Detroit. God, don't go there. Please. Did I say Carolina? I don't. Yeah. That doesn't turn me on either. Houston is another one. So Seattle's the best bet, but I haven't heard any rumors or anything on them making any kind of a deal. So, but Cleveland has to make a move. They have to.
Yeah, they have to.
Toxic a situation. You can't have him and Watson on the same roster. You just can't.
Yeah. I do not believe that can happen. So, Yeah, maybe it's not tonight. Maybe it's tomorrow. I certainly think with Debo Samuel's situation,
That's interesting.
it's something's got to happen.
Well, and he's valuable.
Yeah, big time.
Big time, and you could get and the other thing is the Niners do not have a first round choice.
Yeah.
Russ just got in here. I was waiting on him to get here. We did this segment just for you.
Yeah, yeah, right.
I tell you what, Russ.
Work. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, I'll try to give you some airtime here today, and I'll be darned. Here, you've left us. Thank God for Curtis. Is all
if you want to watch the drive, if you want to watch the draft tonight with us, with Jared and I think Blinkers Off will probably be going on about the same time. So,
now Jared will be wound up into this. That's for sure.
I don't think he will as much though, because the Chiefs will probably draft when we're well off the air.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
I would say we'll come on right at the start of it. But yeah,
it starts late tonight. It starts at 7.
Yeah.
Usually I thought that thing started around 6:30.
Yeah. And of course,
it's in Vegas. In Vegas, so that's part of the reason, I think.
Yeah. And of course, the Blinkers Off show will be all Kentucky Derby.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe we'll chime in. Maybe we can cheer on Curtis if he gets his number 2 choice home there.
Well, I'm hoping so, because if Curtis looks like that picture of him there, he could put some hurt on somebody.
I can guarantee Curtis does not look like that picture.
Okay, all right. You know Curtis.
I don't, but I know that's not him in the picture.
I didn't think it was him.
That's a famous picture that you're not aware of.
Okay.
It's an internet thing.
Oh, maybe that needs to be my picture. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think so.
Well, Russ, I don't know whether you're still there or not, since we haven't heard from you since you popped on there. I glanced at your picks on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
If you're still there, tell us who you think's top 10.
Yeah.
This is your time. You better
time to shine.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, well, he joined us just in time for the NHL talk.
and he loves that.
Yes, he does so much.
What about Tampa? What do you think about Tampa?
Tampa, okay. You want to talk about them real quick? Let's see. Where are they? Let me pull up who Collinsworth thinks Tampa is going with.
They're at 20.
Right here.
Yeah.
He's got them taking a linebacker. I don't know. What do you think they need?
No, I think they definitely need defense.
Yeah.
So linebacker, cornerback, anything there. I think offensively. Do you think Gronk's got anything left? Do you think he's?
To me, they're aging in a lot of places.
They are.
So
they're getting very old.
To me, this is it. Like this,
the
window is very short, obviously, for Tampa.
I saw him on something the other. I can't remember what show. I was really impressed with him. He was just as nice and as personable. He's got some kind of charity project that I can't remember it either, but it's really, really good. I think it's for kids. And he was he was on Ellen the other day. Sandy had it on. He came on there and I listened to him. What a nice person, seems like. And I never had seen that. I mean, I've always liked him, but I never had seen that out of him, the personable side of him. Mm-hmm. But he was really good on that show the other day.
Yeah, he's it's incredible. He came back and he's still playing at a high level.
Yeah.
He's kind of freakish when it comes to athletic ability. There's no question about that.
He's pretty darn good. He really is.
Yeah.
He's tough too.
Yes, he is. He is. Any final
got tied up again.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on the draft before we move on real quickly to the NHL and we get out of here?
Well, I pretty much wasted an hour and a half of my life working on this tonight. Again, it's fun to try to figure it out, but with trades that could happen, this whole thing could be blown up in our face tonight.
Yeah, it definitely could. And that's usually what happens. And then somebody like let's just throw out the Commanders, I guess now.
Is that what they are? The Commanders, yeah.
Yeah, they'll do something just totally off the wall and throw off everything that you thought was going to
There's
happen.
always a big shocker.
Yeah. Yeah.
And usually it's New England or somebody that, New England usually, it goes off the wall sometimes, especially when they used to draft down at the very bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is fun. And, I think the NFL probably does the best job of marketing of any league because the Super Bowl has become a holiday. It's a national holiday. Nobody goes to work on Monday after the Super Bowl. And now we got this that will go on for 3 days.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will watch this tonight instead of NBA, which actually means something.
Right. Yeah.
They really do a good job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're the hype machine. They
are.
Definitely know how to hype everything up.
Yes, they do. They're good at it.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll move on quickly to the NHL. Let me pull it up on the screen now. Here's the deal. It's winded down. The last games are tonight and Friday night. We don't have any questions about who's going to be in the playoffs.
Right.
All 8 teams are set for each division. The only thing we have is seeding at this point. We're going to do, I've already decided, we're not going to do a Thursday show next week, Kentucky Derby week.
I didn't figure we would.
It's not going to happen, but we are going to do a Sunday show, if you can make it, at some point, just covering the NHL playoffs, kind of our NHL playoff preview, because it'll all be set then, and then we can actually know the matchups, who's going where, stuff like that. So we're definitely going to come back here Sunday and do a show. And then, like I said, no show next week because of the Derby. But anyway, to me, I look at this in the Western Conference. It seems pretty straightforward, except for one series that I just don't have any idea what's going to happen, and that's Minnesota and St. Louis. It's going to be an unbelievable series. They're battling right now for home advantage in the playoffs. Do you think that even matters with these two teams?
No, I really don't.
Yeah.
They're both so evenly matched. I would rather have Game 7 in St. Louis than Minnesota.
Yeah.
But I can see each of them losing all the games in the other team's place. I really could.
Yep.
I could see it coming down 3-3 and no home teams won. I can see that. So
yeah,
they're evenly matched. That's going to be a tremendous series. I think that Edmonton LA series will be pretty good too. And then I don't give Dallas and Nashville much of a chance against Colorado and Calgary, however that plays out.
Dallas and Nashville both aren't playing the greatest.
No,
Nashville, you see right here, they've lost 3 in a row. They're 3-4-3 in their last 10. Dallas 5-3-2. They're playing a little bit better. Dallas lost to Arizona last night.
Yes.
It was bad.
I'm wondering if they played at the same time the Blackhawks and Vegas did. And when Vegas didn't beat the Blackhawks, that gave Dallas that last spot. I just don't see either one. First of all, I'm not sure anybody can beat Colorado.
Yeah.
Although they've stumbled a little bit down the stretch, but they're just playing out the season. They're just trying to get healthy and make sure nobody gets hurt. They played really well against the Blues. I think that was their swan song for the season, But the Minnesota-St. Louis series is going to be good. There's nothing to choose there. I mean, both of them play the same, pretty much.
If I told you Colorado, Minnesota, and St. Louis are the 3 best teams in the West, would you agree or disagree?
Oh, I would agree unless you want to throw Calgary in there.
I think they're all 3 would beat Calgary.
I think so too. I'd rather play them than Minnesota. I'd rather the Blues play Calgary than Minnesota. That's for sure.
Do you think St. Louis, the goalie situation, will hold up? That's the question.
That's the whole key, and we don't know.
Because the Minnesota goalie situation, it's weird too. Marc-Andre Fleury was traded at the deadline to Minnesota. He has not played very well. Cam Talbot is their other goalie. He's not great.
He's not as good a goalie as they usually have.
No. So their goalie situation's odd with Fleury not playing very well. And then when you look at the Blues, you got Husso, who's played pretty well. And then you got Bennington, who obviously carried the Blues to a Stanley Cup, but has not been good this year.
Well,
So,
and I'll ask your opinion. Who do you think's going to play game one?
I don't know.
I thought it was Husso, but I don't know why they play Bennington in Colorado in a game they really needed to win.
Yeah. And to be fair, it was his first loss in 6 games.
It was.
They, as a team, did not play very well.
No.
It really wasn't on him, but he was not great at the same time.
He was shaky.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's a decision I wouldn't want to make.
I wouldn't either.
And I have to think from what we've seen down the stretch in these last 7 or 8 games, Bennington's played most of them, right?
He's played a lot of them.
I think he's going to start.
I would lean Husso.
I would if I was the coach,
Yeah.
but I don't see him every day. I don't know their makeup. I don't know how much the fact that Bennington's making as much money as he is has to do with this. I want to think it wouldn't, but it's a tough decision. I would go with Husso in game one, and if he didn't play well, then you've always got Bennington to come back in game 2. I think you're going to look like a fool if you play Bennington. They get beat 4-0 or 4-2, and he doesn't play well.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think you're opening yourself up to all kinds of criticism.
Yep.
So
if you play Husso and he doesn't play well, you're going to say, well, gosh, you got a Stanley Cup winning goalie and you didn't play him. I mean,
if you've watched the Blues all year, you're not going to say that.
I agree.
And I think if you ask most Blues fans, true Blues fans that have watched the games, they would say Husso should start. I just don't see how you can argue with it. We would not be where we are without him.
Yep.
So,
he's earned it.
He has. And like I said, to me, it's safer to go with him first. And if he doesn't play well, then go to Bennington than it is to start with Bennington. If he doesn't play well, then come in with a rookie. I just think maybe Berube was thinking the home ice doesn't mean much in this series. Let's give him a chance in Colorado. And if he wins and plays great, then he's earned the start. Maybe that's what they were thinking. I don't know, but I was surprised when he was playing in Colorado.
Yeah, I was too. I was very surprised. So
I will say this. I have complete trust in Berube, and Doug Armstrong, and that whole Blues organization. Whatever they come up with, I support it. They just do too many things right.
I agree. I think they'll make the best decision, and then hopefully the easiest thing, play Husso and he comes through.
Yeah,
and he's earned the chance.
He
I don't think he's fantastic, but I definitely think he's solid, and he's been solid. So ultimately, I think that's what's going to get the Blues beat, because even if they win the first round, you're going to have an out of this world performance to beat Colorado by your goaltender.
Yeah.
So.
And when you look at the West, and I'm trying to think, of those 8 teams, there's not a standout goaltender. Now, the guy at Colorado is pretty good, but they score a bunch of goals. So he doesn't have to be great.
Yeah.
And you look at the old St. Louis teams of the past that don't score goals like this team does, where would we be? I mean, it's a good thing we do score a lot of goals, because we've gotten by with goaltending. It's not been, although at times Husso's been pretty darn good. So
yeah, he's been good at times, but overall it has not been great.
No, you're just not confident.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Well, I'm going to ask you this. You watch more hockey than I do, because I just basically watch the Blues. Who has the best goalie? Are there standout goalies this year? Because scoring is up tremendously in hockey this year.
Yep.
The Ranger goalie's pretty good.
He's good. Listen, for my money, we're talking playoffs. I'll take Valesky still.
Well, I will too.
I think he's number one on the list.
Yeah.
I watch Florida a lot. Florida's so fun to watch. They're so exciting to watch.
No, they're explosive.
Bravosky isn't bad for Florida. They kind of play so wide open that he might give up 3 goals, but he's played a great game. You know, so I wouldn't mind having him either. But listen, Valesky right now, he's won 2 in a row, and
they're
he's having another good year. So
they've won 4 straight now.
Yeah.
What about the guy at Carolina?
Yeah, I was going to look up his numbers because he's given up 100. They've given up 199 goals, which is very good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to look at. I may have missed it here. Let's see. Where is he? I was going to look up his stats because I haven't really looked him up yet. I don't know where they are though. Well, it doesn't really. Oh, goaltending. If I could just open my eyes there, I could see it. Yeah. So it's Frederick Anderson. He hasn't ever been great, but you look at these numbers. He's been
pretty good.
That's pretty damn good.
Yep.
Ratna is not awful. I think this is surprising that he's played this good.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's never done a whole hell of a lot, but this is pretty impressive. He's second goals against average, and he's tied for third with the save percentage. So that's
people
pretty
will
impressive.
take that.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So yeah, that's
yeah. Well, that Eastern playoff series is first round is going to be phenomenal.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be great. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, I tell you, I would hate to beat any of those teams, really.
Yeah, and I would love to sit here and geez, look at me. I'd love to sit here and give you some matchups, but we still just don't know what it's going to be.
We know 2. We know the Blues and the North Stars, the Blues and the Wild.
Yeah.
And we know Edmonton and LA. Yeah.
But we will know, like I said, we're going to do a Sunday full preview of just the NHL playoffs. It may not even be an hour show. It may just be, that's all we're going to talk about. And because I know we're not going to be able to do shows next week, but I would hate ourselves if we didn't do an NHL playoff preview. So we're going to do that on Sunday, and we'll know the matchups, and then we can really kind of dive into this.
Yeah, and we could do the NBA too because we should know second round.
That's true. We could do that. Yeah, we could definitely do that. It'll be NHL kicking it off, and then we'll do the NBA, and then we'll be out for the week. But yeah, these matchups in the East. Like in the West, the 2 wildcard teams are 99% going to get beat by the number 1 seed.
I think they're the 2 weakest teams of the 16.
Yeah, but in the East,
oh God, no.
That's why the matchups really are going to mean a lot.
Yeah,
though. We'll see.
Now Washington could still beat Pittsburgh.
If they win out, they will.
Yeah, they will if they win the last 2.
And all of a sudden, the Florida Panthers, who have never done anything, will have to take on the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first round. That
would not be fun.
That's not going to be an easy series.
Well, even if they don't, they got to take on Washington. You want to do that? I don't.
No, I mean that's just it. That's gonna be a very tough first round where you're looking. Okay, Colorado, you get Nashville or Dallas. That's a big difference.
Yeah, and Boston could conceivably catch Tampa. They're probably not going to.
Yeah.
So, but okay, so you got Carolina. They get Boston in the first round. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah,
or they could get Tampa in the first round. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah. Well, you look at this. All 8 teams have 100 points.
It's phenomenal.
That's incredible. When you go back to the other side, and then 5 out of the 8 here have 100 points. Yeah. So there's no doubt that Eastern Conference is going to be crazy, and we will definitely preview that on Sunday.
Well, you're going to have, the loser of the Blues Minnesota round will probably have 111 points.
Yep.
That's a damn good team that's going to play one round. And then you got 4 teams coming out of here that's going to play one round.
Yep.
That's tough. It really is.
No question.
I wish the NHL would, and they won't do it, but to me, it should be 1 against 8, 2 against 7, 3 against 6, 4 against 5.
I know.
And I don't know why they don't do that.
I don't either.
I really don't.
I don't either. In the East, it wouldn't matter this year, but it usually would.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, there's no way the Blues and Minnesota should be playing in the first round when you got Nashville and Dallas down there. There's just.
I agree, but like I said, it's not going to change. They like what they've got set up here for us. So.
Yeah. So.
Well, all right, that's all we got for you today, folks. Anything else, Papa Dude, before we get out of here?
I don't think so. I know you guys are busy. And I'm going right now on the Kentucky Derby as of today, Thursday, 4-28, Epicenter.
Epicenter. You're on the Epicenter bandwagon, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
Because nothing's changed for me except for Taba has not worked out.
No, he did work out today, though.
Now, how was he?
I mean, I think he looked great, but I don't know. Like, I'm not. I really, in all honesty, I'm not a workout person. I can't tell you.
I've soured on him a little bit. And I knew I would. It's too long ago since he run. We're going to find out everything on Monday, right? That's when the draw is.
That's right. Yeah, Monday will be the draw. So if you're liking the coverage, we'll be live for tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, and then Monday we will be live for the draw, and then we'll also have shows Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Are you going to take the weekend off?
Yes, yeah, nothing on the weekend. Well, we'll have the NHL preview.
No, I mean, are you going to take the weekend off from your videos on the Kentucky Derby?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah, we will.
And what are you going to talk about tomorrow, for God's sakes?
Yeah, we talked about we got a couple subjects. We're going to talk about what area of the country had the best prep races. We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
What else are we going to talk about? What 3 horses need the best post position draws to have a shot? And that's probably about it. And then I'm sure there'll be something come up news-wise. Then, like I said, Monday's the draw, so that's an easy one. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there'll be all kinds of things to talk about.
All right.
Yeah, so next week, here's what we got going for you. We got those 4 shows. Like I said, the live draw show will probably be the biggest one. We'll have a blinkers off, obviously. We'll have an interview with John White. He will be on the show Tuesday, I think he will come on. And we'll have live after shows from Churchill Downs on Friday and Saturday. And then we'll also have a live stream Saturday during the races. So there's a lot going on. The Kentucky Derby wagering guide. We will probably have that out Wednesday.
Now, when are you leaving?
Wednesday.
Okay.
As soon as the wagering guide is out, I will hit the road.
Are you guys driving?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I do have a question for you.
Okay.
From my good buddy who goes to Will Rogers way too much. And I gave him the answer, but he wanted me to ask you too.
Okay.
Why in the world did they not take some of the money that they made during the COVID years and not update the facilities? I think I know the answer, and I think I know what you're going to say.
Why did Will Rogers not take money they made from the COVID year and update their facility?
Now, again, they made a fortune because they were one of the only tracks running, and the out-of-town wagering was unbelievable, right?
Yes.
The wagering.
Simple answer to that is, why would they? Why do they need to do that?
That's what I told. Well, he is just he can't understand why they don't have a video board.
Well, I don't know why they don't have a video board either. I've never been anywhere that doesn't have a video board. So I don't know the answer to that. They need one. I'm trying to think. I've been to some little tracks. They all have video boards.
Yeah.
I don't have the answer. I don't know.
And he also, and I've wondered this too, why is the paddock so far away over there? Why, where it's at is so far from the.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. It's
a huge space in between there, and it would be so much nicer if they'd bring that paddock to where people could see the horses a little better.
Yeah, it's it's not a great place.
All right, you said the same thing. My answer was, why would they be? Well, it's like yours, because they pocketed that money. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Well, nobody's there.
Nobody's there. So
I can't see them being, although I guess they are, but I couldn't see them being very profitable year in and year out before.
No.
So that's my answer, right?
That's what I told him.
They probably took that money and said, "Oh, that's awesome. We made some money."
Absolutely.
All right. Later on today, well, I tell you what, 45 minutes. Matt Dinnerman from Golden Gate, the Golden Gate track announcer, will be on the Magic Mike show, helping them handicap the late pick 4 from Golden Gate Fields this weekend. They've got a big card on Saturday. Matt Dinnerman stopping by to help the Magic Mike crew handicap that. So that should be awesome. And then, like I said, Blinkers Off comes on a little while after that. Jared's got the kids today, so we'll see. It's usually 6:30, 7 Central. You can expect us. And like I said, we'll be talking all things Kentucky Derby on that show as well. If you watched our live show, the kids are running wild while Jared was on.
Is Jared cooking supper right about now, you think?
I would think so. Yeah, he's trying to get them
putting the frozen pizza in the oven.
Yep, I would say he's trying to get them wound down a little bit before we have to do the show tonight. So
that's funny.
Anyway, all right, we're gonna get off here, guys. I hope you all have a good weekend. Just stay tuned to the YouTube page. Thanks everybody for joining us, not only for this show but for everything we're doing. It means a lot, and we got a lot on there. We're having fun doing it, and we appreciate everybody's support. So. All right, guys, we'll see you back here on this show on Sunday. And like I said, stay tuned to the channel. 45 minutes, we'll see Magic Mike Show, Matt Dinnerman, special guest.
This has been a presentation of RacingDudes.com, your destination for all things horse racing and sports betting. Whether you want free winners, expert insider picks, up-to-the-minute trackside weather reports, or podcasts and videos for bettors of all skill levels. Never make another wager without visiting the Racing Dudes. First,